There's a Notorious arcade game from the 80s known for its violent gameplay. But gore and shocking visuals aside, is it fun to play? In 1988, Namco released Splatterhouse into arcades. This side-scrolling beat-em-up caused quite a stir with its grotesque creatures and horrific imagery. Inspired by the popular movies of the time, such as Poltergeist, Evil Dead, and the most obvious inspiration, Friday the 13th. Although the mask seen on the game's protagonist Rick is not a hockey mask, and instead a Mayan sacrificial artifact called the Hell Mask. During the tracked mode, the two college students Rick and Jennifer can be seen running through a forest trying to escape the fierce storm. They take refuge in an old mansion, but little do they know this is no ordinary home. This is the residence of Dr. West and his nightmarish experiments. Upon entering the mansion, you are killed and left in the basement to rot. However, fate intervenes and the Hell Mask reanimates you. Imbued with the powers of this object, you must explore Dr. West's macabre mansion full of his Lovecraftian experiments in an effort to save your girlfriend's life and escape with sanity intact. A task that's easier said than done because Splatterhouse, while an enjoyable game worth playing, is known for its brutal difficulty. In fact, the game completely ditched the commonplace continue system that allows players to feed quarters and progress through the game with little challenge. Instead, there's a series of checkpoints, and while you can continue, you'll have to play through entire sections of the game again and again to advance through the 7 stages. The primary method of dispatching enemies is by either punching them until they explode, kicking them into oblivion, or if you want to get really fancy, Rick has an OP slide kick that you can perform by walking forward, jumping up into the air, and then quickly pressing down and right or left, depending on which direction you want to slide, and the attack button. If you can get the timing down, this is one of the most essential moves in the game. And of course there's an arsenal of weaponry at your disposal, such as the menacing meat cleaver, the tried and true 2x4 for some good old-fashioned head popping, and my personal favorite, the pump-action shotgun for taking out the particularly difficult enemies, like this boss called Biggie Man, who has 2 chainsaws for hands and is tough as nails. Blast him 8 times with your shotgun and slide kick him back to the grave. This is also a good time to mention the sound design by Katsuro Tajima. There's a dark, anxiety-inducing quality to the OST, and the moans bellowing from the various creatures and the splats and crunches from dispatching said creatures creates an overall foreboding soundscape. The use of an organ for the title track harkens back to classic horror films, and many of the tracks are almost experimental in nature, such as this odd yet effective track titled "They Wanna Eat Me." Graphically, the game is super impressive by 1988 standards with its large, detailed sprites, interesting backgrounds, and textures, although the color palette is often muddy and some of the details get lost because of this. The gameplay is pretty standard beat-em-up fare with little variety, and the controls are a tad stiff. It would have been nice to have some more combos and perhaps a grab to add variety to the action, but the level design can be pretty interesting, and I love all the various booby traps throughout the mansion, such as these rotating blades attached to the floor. And then there's these pits that must be avoided at all costs because falling through them sends you down to this wildly aggravating section of the game that has Rick being attacked by hordes of blood-sucking parasites. If you're the type of gamer who likes a challenge and is okay playing the same stage many times to learn the patterns, then working through Splatterhouse can be very rewarding. And even if you just want to punch your way through a few levels to soak in that horror-inspired ambiance to get you in the Halloween spirit, this is truly the perfect game to play. But whatever you do, Just make sure you don't stand still under this chandelier. This is the first in a long line of Splatterhouse games, but which one is your favorite? I would love to hear about it in the comments section below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the arcade.